cheat on me? You deserve what's coming. All of this occurred around 5 years ago. My then wife and I had been married for around 3 years at the time of this interview. She was reared in a Christian environment that was exceedingly strict. I was detested by her parents for 2 reasons. 1, I'm not religious, and 2, I'm a Democrat. They tried all they could to convince her not to marry me, but their efforts were in vain. In hindsight, I wish they had been successful in convincing her not to marry me. My wife began to withdraw at some time during our marriage, and I was concerned. We went from having 3 times a week to 3 times a month to once a month as our schedule allowed. She told me that she didn't like having, and that she just did it to please me, and that she regretted it. The fact that she didn't want to have as much with me since she had gotten her someplace else was something I didn't realize at the time. How did I come to find out about this? My wife was using my laptop. Her laptop was being repaired at the time, when she mistakenly ticked the Remember Me box on her email account. When I attempted to check my email, it was automatically redirected to her inbox. I was there for every conversation she had with this guy, which practically proved that she was cheating on me. In the same way that any sane person would who realizes their marriage is over would file for divorce, I did so. I also notified the other man's GF, who promptly left him without more ado. After all, as I've already said, her parents were never very fond of me. Upon learning of my decision to divorce her, they erupted in anger. Apparently, she lied to them, stating that I had cheated on her with another man. They sent me caustic emails every other week, and I ignored them. After our divorce was finalized, I told her parents of her adultery and gave them with the necessary papers for their records. Her father sent me an email to express his regret and dismay at his daughter's behavior. I just received one answer. You now have a more complete picture of your daughter's personality and characteristics. Please do not contact me in the future. Since then, none of them has been in touch with me. After our divorce has been finalized for almost a year, I get a long email from my ex with the subject, "Thanks." I was expecting it to be some kind of thank you message, but it turned out to be something completely else. There were phrases like, "Thank you for making my parents hate me," "Thank you for pushing me to cheat on you," and "Thank you for wrecking my life" in some of the messages. That was the last time I had any communication from her. As a result of her parents' abandonment, she was regarded as the laughingstock of the little community in which she grew up. It seems that she has moved to Australia, according to her Facebook profile, but considering that she hasn't posted anything in 3 years, I may be wrong. Also, do you remember the girlfriend of the guy with whom my wife was having an affair with me at the time? That woman has since become my fiancé. Story 2. Me, 28 male, trying to figure out how to be a good friend to friend, 29 female, that has been emotionally neglected for most of her life. A little more about myself. I've known this friend for almost 9 years, and throughout the epidemic, we spoke on the phone and texted a lot, more than we normally would. When the vaccine rollout came around, I was eager to see her in person, and we made plans to see one other a lot more in person during the summer. I felt a strong connection to her and wanted to be close to her. And, to be really honest, I started to have feelings for her as a potential love partner. Nevertheless, after the summer, I noticed a difference in how she answered my calls and responded to my messages less frequently. Additionally, whenever I requested to hang out with her, she initially said yes, but later, such as a day or 2 before we planned, she would say that she wasn't feeling well emotionally and would cancel our plans. Initially, I was okay with it, but as she continued to do so, I realized she didn't actually give any rescheduling or makeup opportunities. And that made me sad because I would have thought that if I wanted to be close to someone I care about, they would at the very least offer to be in my immediate vicinity. The time came when I became concerned about the nature of our relationship, so I contacted her and confessed my feelings for her, telling her that I wanted to be more than simply friends with her. She was taken aback and said that she was not interested in being in a relationship with anybody at this time due to personal difficulties that she did not discuss with us, and that she regarded us to be best friends in return. While I understood her decision and was okay with the prospect of being friends and moving on, I was disappointed that I had invested so much time and effort into a relationship that she did not feel the same way about. Even as I was making efforts to get my life back on track, hanging out with my best friend and close friends on weekends, doing my normal soccer stuff, going on a solo trip far away from where I live, picking up my old hobby of art, trying out online dating again, I noticed she would occasionally text or call, which I didn't answer because I was driving, to express her longing for me. These activities caused me to feel confused because, although hearing what she had to say was encouraging, I couldn't understand why she would continue to communicate in this manner while taking no genuine steps to become my friend. Because I was feeling especially perplexed and intellectually tired by the complexity of our relationship during our week together, I decided to approach her by text and inquire as to how she regards me as a friend and human being. She contacted me soon away and inquired as to why I had asked her the question in the first place. I explained my reasoning, and she responded positively. I stated to her that I was just inquisitive and wanted to learn more about what she was talking about. Then she continued to reel off a laundry list of attributes that she found admirable in me, assuring me that anything she had to say about me was good. The fact that she was kind enough to say so based on what she saw in me, though, gave me the impression that she wasn't very interested in me as a friend in general. As a consequence, I said, "What do you want to gain via our friendship?" She responded, "What do you mean? Do friendships have to have a point?" She said before continuing, "What do you mean? Do friendships have to have a point?" That's when I confessed to her everything I'd been thinking about her over the previous few months, including how much I wanted to be close to her, but felt like she was constantly pulling away from me, giving me the impression that she didn't want to be close to me and proving to me that I wasn't worthy of her time and effort. It was my recommendation to her that, if she really felt that way, it would be best for our relationship if I just left rather than prolonging the argument. The moment I communicated my feelings to her, she was unable to answer adequately and informed me of her inability to respond before breaking down on the phone and profusely apologizing. Also, she got to tell me the following day how she was really feeling, and she said that she needed more time to digest everything that had occurred to her. I get a phone call from her the following day, and she tells me that she still doesn't know how to express herself completely, but that she is feeling terrible about the situation. It was at this point that she began to tell me about how she had been subjected to emotional neglect since she was a child, how she had no real healthy relationship with her family members, and how she had been surrounded by a circle of friends who had never really cared about her mental well-being and who would always refer to her as crazy whenever she expressed her feelings. Although what has happened, I still have a great deal of love for her, and I have told her that I consider myself to be her friend, and that she does not deserve to be locked in this cycle of violence any longer. While it was true that my childhood was different, lovely family and loving friends who cared about my challenges, than hers, I honestly wanted what was best for her and didn't believe she was insane or odd in any way. My regret at her being dealt such a poor hand of cards was also voiced, as I know she is a darling who has been taken advantage of way too many times. It was also advised by me that she seek professional assistance for her problems from an appropriately competent therapist, which she did. How can I continue to be a kind friend to her now that I really understand what she is going through? I wonder.